Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video, I will teach you all the new functions that Rexlib added in the new version 1.1. Also all the old features, since some of them were changed and there wasn't really a good tutorial yet. So let's start. I have my PowerShell opened, I have my Lua started, I have my Rexlib required. So basically all the necessities are done. Over here I have my, Rexlib functions MD so I don't forget anything, and let's go through all the functions from the beginning to the end. I will be starting off with the commands that actually help you with deving, and I will go to the management commands later. So first things first is the rexlib.in% value, or basically a comment or a function, however you want to call this. Basically what it does is it creates a percentage from two values, so basically the value and the max value. Let's say we have a max health stat, which is like 100, and then we have health stat, and it is only like 75. So if we want to get the actual percentage of the health that the player has, you just do R, since I don't have it named as Rexlib over here, I just have R so it's quicker, and I also advise you to, make a quicker acronym for it. And we just do R.in%. First is the value, so health, and then there is the max value, which is max health. And as you can see, it prints 75, since 75 out of 100 is 75%. Next, the function is clone table. Also really simple. Let's say we have a table, so t is equal to this, and let's just say in the table we have an apple and the monkey. Now normally you cannot clone a table or deep clone a table easily in Lua. You would have to use a for loop to go through it. But in Rexlib we just do r.clone table, or let's just do tc, which means clone table is equal to r.clone table. We choose the table we want to clone, which is t, and we can just do, we could just do for I, v, and blah 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 and list everything, or we can just skip a bit of functions and go straight to the rexlib.list table, since that's the function that actually allows you to see what a table has inside of it. So let's do r.list table tc, and as you can see, monkey and apple, since it just cloned the d, which only has apple and monkey. Now if I was to change the t table, then the tc would be a bit different, since it doesn't like update it, it just clones it once. Next is rexlib.wait, and I will merge this with rexlib.run in background. And yeah, okay, let's do this. Basically what wait does, it waits. Yeah, I know you couldn't guess that. So let's just do, r.wait 3.5 seconds. And as you can see, I cannot write nothing because it's a partial and that's how it works. Basically it stops everything. But if I want to just, stop one function and have everything else continue, I can use the rexlib.run in background, which for some reason is bugged over here, but that's okay. So we can just do r.run in background function. We can do r.wait 2 seconds, and we can do, let's say, print wait finished and end. Now, as you can see, if I wait just 2 seconds, it will not really do anything, and that is because how Rexlib works. Basically, it works on a breathing system, and it does new stuff every new line. So if I was to click now, as you can see, it will print wait finished, because a new action happened. And I will show you how to control these actions to your advantage soon when we will get over to the management commands. Over here is Rexlib.filter. I will not go too deeply into this, but basically, if you have a condition that you can filter stuff in a table by, you can just use that. It's pretty good or pretty well explained over here, but not really that hard to learn once you check this function, and it's longer, right? So I will not include it in this video right now, but I will include the repeat function, which also really simple. It will just repeat the function certain amounts of time. Also, if you set the value of how many times you want it to repeat it, 2 minus 1, it will just repeat it forever. So yeah, you should be a bit aware of that if you don't want to have an infinite loop, but as you can see over here, there are many like functions that can clean this, so no worries really. You can always just nuke it. Next thing is, alright, I'll first show you the run diagrams. You can just do function run in, or not run diagram. Let's just do print something first. Print hello, and we can just do r dot run in background, or not run in background. We want to repeat the function first, and we don't need to run it in background. So just do r dot run in back repeat function outside of run in background, and we can just do print something, and let's say I want it to be repeated 5 times. As you can see, it will be a bit more spaced out, since that's how currently it is set, and it just takes a while for the functions to repeat, since it's not instant, so your computer doesn't freeze. But as you can see, it will basically do it 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just has a little bit of delay. In the PowerShell it's more visible since I have to click multiple times, but in any other coding environment outside of like the operating system ones, it should work pretty well, and without you having to create new lines. The next thing is Rexlib.change. This is actually a really useful function. Basically, it will allow you to check for changes. So let's say we have a bool called bool, or let's just call the bool a bool. So we can just do bool is equal to true, and we can do function basically r dot or change, and we can just do, as you can see, just a function that is linked to checking the value, which in our case we would write it like this, and it's also made to include like the function, so it's always better. And the function we included with this is get value. As you can see, it's really simply just do r.get value, the value you want to be returned, so bool, and as you can see, that's basically everything, because the return thread is not really needed, but so you can always have it if you want it to write another thread, so like kill it later if you think that like the value will never be changed actually, since those are like the management comments. Uh, Now let's say bool is set to false, and if you did it correctly, which would be like the change, or actually which just like the change and all this, but basically it will you have to make it a return value, and it will return you the well the function or the basically it will just return the new state of the value. So if it was true, it will be false. It always runs in background, so you don't have to really be scared of like it stopping other functions, since it works in our breathing system. And this is basically how you need to set it up. And if you want to actually use it for something, you can just do changed value is equal to r.change and blah 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 blah, and you just can copy basically this. More in-depth tutorial will of course be released sooner or later, probably on our GitHub, but these are like what you need to know for you to be able to use Rexlib correctly. I will not go into depth about this change, but it's really useful. You just have to learn how to use it and how to well properly like properly, I would say use it, but more like properly know when to use it, since sometimes it's not really the most effective way, but it can help you a lot and save you a lot of time, which is like the main purpose of Rexlib. Next thing is the newest value or the newest function, which is Rexlib discount. Very simple. Let's say we have a value that is set to 200. Let's say I want this value to be like discounted by a certain percentage. So let's just say r dot discount percentage to discount. So let's say I want it to be like 20%, and or let's just do 100%, since that says the basically easiest way to do it, and the value to change. So v. Now as you can see, it will just print 0.0 because yeah, if you discount something by 100%, it will be free. Next thing on the list are the management commands, which are a bit different, but basically these do not help you with the coding in Lua itself. They help you with managing all of these functions I just showed you. So we can go straight to the first one, which is Rexlib.clear watchers. Basically, the breathing system has a table which it lists through, and those watchers check for all these values or the functions like change, since basically it is always checking if the value has changed, or like r.wait or run in background. Basically, those watchers make sure everything works correctly. But let's say you are stuck to a value and you need, or to a watcher, and you cannot remove it because you don't know which thread, which I will show you how to remove it by thread soon, or something like that. So you can just clear all of them at once. Basically, it will nuke all of these functions, stopping them, but also it's really useful, since sometimes you need to shut down Rexlib by itself, and firstly you should clear the watchers so everything will work correctly. So you can just do clear watchers, it will clear the watchers. Technically it will not do anything right now, since, well, yeah, technically nothing, since basically all of the watchers, well, already removed automatically when these functions that use the watchers ended, since Rexlib is actually going to shut them down for you once the function using the watcher will stop. Next thing on the list is kill watcher. Basically, if you get a threat of an watcher, since the watchers are basically just coroutines, you can just remove it like that. Nothing too hard to explain. Next is list watchers, which will basically list watchers. Currently there are none, as you can see. Or actually, it will print the table, but you can also just get the table and then list the table. But nothing like interesting. It is just so you can check everything that you need to check in case you are not sure if certain watchers are still being used. Next thing on the list is hold breath and raisin breath. These are functions controlling the breath. Basically, every line it will breathe, making sure that it will check all the new watchers, if there are new ones, if some should be removed, if some functions that use the watchers were finished, and all of that. You can basically hold breath, which will stop it from checking the watchers, basically stopping all of the functions using watchers. Then there is resume breath, which just does the opposite of hold breath. And then there is set breath interval. Basically, uh, this is how many lines, or well, not lines, actions that need to be completed before it will actually breathe again. So in the base Rexlib it's set to 1, but usually even just one line of code contains like 4 or 5. But just to make sure it is like the most real time and quickest feedback, the base version is set to 1. But let's say you are using a rendering system, so you render something. Usually you just render something and it will do like thousands of actions in a minute. Because of that, you can just set it to like 5, and then it will save a bit of performance, while since the rendering is running anyway, it will be still pretty much accurate. Anyways, those are all functions of Rexlib. The management commands are mostly new, except the clear watchers. The newest update and the focus of it was on making sure you can control everything that you need to control. If you want a more in-depth tutorial, make sure to leave that like, subscribe, and yeah, enjoy. There is also a tutorial on how to download and install it if you do not know yet or do not have it installed yet. So yeah, you can also go and check that on our GitHub. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to join our Discord, and yeah, goodbye.